All right. Hey, what's up, guys? Nick here. And today we're going to go over kind of an interview I did with one of my students. So this is kind of going to be a testimonial case study. And this person is just amazing. Her name's Sherilyn, and we're going to go over kind of her first deal. And it was a very long interview, so I've kind of cut it down and chunked it down into little bite-sized pieces. So we're not going to listen to the whole thing. But I just wanted to share with you some of the key nuggets and some of the things that she did to ultimately led to her getting her first deal and having success in overages and surplus funds. So we're going to go over that today. This will be a two-part video series. So today is part one, and then tomorrow I'll post part two. And I hope this helps you guys and that you can learn from her experiences. She is an amazing person. You know, she's a mom, she's a business owner, didn't really have a ton of time to dedicate to overages. And so she just did it on a part-time basis to allow for extra income. And she was able to see great success. And I think right now, you know, as I'm filming this, we filmed this a couple months ago, actually. But right now, I think she's done 3 deals or has 3 deals completed now. I know she just actually posted in our Facebook group today that she just got her 3rd deal. So very cool stuff, and I hope you enjoy. So let me share the video with you. And I apologize in advance. This is just kind of it's kind of raw footage. Obviously, I'm not a professional videographer. So we're just going to skip around a little bit. Let me make sure I'm sharing here. Yep, we're good. Okay. So this first portion, I'll just play it and then we'll pause and go over kind of the key takeaways.
Tell me about this deal that you've got going on right now. And when did you buy the course? How long have you been learning?
End of June.
Okay.
So not quite, I think it was June 24th. So I just know that's when I joined the overages group because it tells me member since like June 24th.
Yeah.
So sometime around then, and I just went to work. I use the Google spreadsheet for my other business. I usually make about 40 to 60 cold calls a day. And so I've been doing that forever. None of it was scary to me. None of it.
Good.
But so I did go through the course. I went through the first module, and then I realized you could actually get started before you went through the second module.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm not a person that feels like I need to overlearn things. I just wanted to like get in and try it.
Yeah.
These aren't people I'm ever going to see again. Even the lawyers I call, even the county, like they don't know who I am. They're not going to remember me. It doesn't matter if I say something wrong or, you know, I'll never see them. So that's what I did. I just created a Google spreadsheet like you had. And I told myself I needed to get 10 leads on it.
Nice.
So I gave myself a deadline for that. That was kind of slow because I had to keep going back to it. It's a lot of information, but luckily you can go back and access I think it's very well organized.
Yeah.
So I could go back to the parts where I was like, you know what, I'm like lost here. I'm missing something, but that took me a while to build that list. And then he was on it, but I found him pretty quick. Like his money isn't even there yet. I don't want to say where his money is to the whole world, but his money is not there yet. But it will be. And I know the exact dollar and cent amount because the law firm was willing to tell me that, but now they're not willing to help me anymore because they thought I was helping a friend. And now they know I'm doing overages. They don't want to help me anymore because they don't want me taking up their valuable $225 an hour time. So that one, you know, I am going to have to get better about figuring out how much, but I just called and started asking because I remember at the auction, you just went up to a guy and you were like, can I ask you some questions? So that's what I did. I just called the law firm that handled it and said, can I ask you some questions? And
perfect.
that's how I got him. That the rest aren't going to be that. I don't want to say it was easy, because, you know, you got to figure out that a foreclosure is happening or happened. You have to figure out like where the money is, and then you have to figure out who handled it, and if there was an overage, and if other parties claimed the money, like, you know, you have to go through all that. It wasn't simple, but it was probably the simplest one I'll do, which I'm grateful for.
Yeah, it's definitely not, it's not easy, but once you do the process, you can repeat it over and over again.
And I'm not looking for easy, because I'm intelligent and I'm persistent.
Yeah.
But I did need a mentor, and I have to know how it's done. So I was really grateful for all that information. And I felt like the group was extremely helpful too.
Good.
The Facebook group.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Would you mind sharing what just the approximate amount is of the overage? You don't have to if you don't want to, but.
Well, it's over 50.
Nice.
That's all I'm going to go for. Because I'm not trying to live on this.
Yeah.
So the tiny bit of time I have to put into it, I just, because I make so much money per hour with my other business, it's costly for me to put time into this, and I just need it to pay at a certain level. So I'm just going for things over 50.
Cool. Good. Awesome. And then do you mind sharing like the percentage you negotiated with him?
I did 70-30.
Cool. Yep. That's my average is about 30%.
Yeah. And
Okay, so a couple key takeaways from that section, guys. Notice that she didn't get a ton of leads to start. She started off with 10 leads, which is awesome. A lot of people think you need to get a ton, like, 50 or 100 leads to get rolling. That's not the case. If you have 10 to 30 leads, you can get started and you can get a deal out of those 10 to 30 leads. One thing I really liked about what she said is she gave herself a deadline. And so she set a date to where, okay, I'm going to start contacting people by this certain date. So that's very powerful, is to give yourself a deadline. And so hopefully you're able to learn a couple other things from that portion. And just she did mention that it was difficult, which is the case in everything, guys. Whenever you start something new, it's going to be difficult. But that is the benefit of, learning from someone that's done it. So that was another good takeaway from that portion. So let's move on to the next section here. I didn't get lucky.
Yeah.
That this is actually, I didn't just stumble through this and get lucky, but two, this is real. It works if you do the work.
Right.
But you made some great points too, where it's like, it's not easy. That's why I found that, and this is just my opinion, I don't think there's a lot of people doing this, especially on like for me, this is what I do full time.
Yeah.
You have another job where you don't have to do this full time, which is amazing. But this skill that you're developing is also going to help you, especially with when you get into investing in real estate, stuff like that.
Right.
And I just lost my train of thought. I don't know where I was going with that, but
a lot of people just won't do it.
Yeah. I think because the concept is simple, right? We're helping people recover funds. That's a simple concept.
Yep.
But it's like I always say, the execution is difficult. And so I think people, they overlook that. They say, oh, this is simple, I can do this. And then they get into the weeds and it's like, wow, this takes work.
Yeah.
But if you do the work, it's absolutely, possible.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It really is. And it's thrilling. I mean, I was driving home from that deal. I'm going to turn this way because only half of my face is lighted because of my window.
Yeah, that's probably me too.
I was driving home after getting the real papers signed. I mean, the fee agreement is just kind of a step to move forward, but the real papers, the notarized papers. And I was like, I have no one to, I was just like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, this worked. Oh my heck. And I also think it's very difficult being a woman. I mean, I can't tell you, because I have contacted, I have spoken to, 5 or 6 people before him just to find dead ends or people that just don't want me to contact him. But
Yeah.
it's a little bit tricky to be a woman in business, this type of business. Like my other business is skincare and makeup.
Mm-hmm.
That's not difficult, except that I do intimidate a lot of people around me. There's something about like a driven, ambitious woman. People would always label her as pushy and, I don't know, domineering.
Mm-hmm.
You never hear people say that about men. When you have a man who is driven and ambitious, pushy and domineering are only labels given to women. And so now I'm in a kind of like I see women doing overages, but you look at the foreclosures, rarely is there just a woman's name on it. It's going to be a husband and wife or a husband. So I'm going to be dealing with men, and I already know that men don't really love, especially men who's just suffered a foreclosure.
Right.
They don't really love a driven, competent woman. So I've had to dial it way, way down. So that's been interesting for me, but I'll, whatever. I mean, $25,000, I will do anything like ethical and legal that I need to do.
Absolutely.
Seriously. So, now you know my overage. Now you're like doing the math.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's awesome.
So.
But that brings up another good point though, is you definitely, it's good that you have that awareness, because you definitely want to kind of, I guess I'm not like a sales guy, but they call it mirroring, right? Where
I was just going to say it. It is mirroring. Yep.
You match the person where they're at. And
their level of energy, their expectation, how they communicate, what they think. Yep.
So that's just to have that awareness. I mean, that's an excellent point and that's why because there's a script, I use a script, but you have to tailor it to that person.
It's true.
You have to kind of, get on their level, whatever their level is. And so that is an excellent point. I'm so glad you brought that up, is because that's kind of the art of this business, is meeting people where they're at.
Oh, the people part.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And which is interesting too, because like for me, I'm an introvert. Like I am not a people person, but I care about people.
You're personable.
Yeah. And so I guess the point I'm trying to make with that is you don't have to be an extrovert to be successful in this business. You will be uncomfortable, especially if you don't have the experience like you have, where it's like, if you're not experienced with cold calling, that's going to be hard for you.
Yeah, that phone will weigh. It will weigh, because I have to train other people to do what I do in the other business I do. And that phone can weigh like 100 pounds when you're just not ready.
Yeah.
But actually, I never spoke to this man. Never.
Really?
I texted only. And then he was.
All right, cool. So hopefully you guys got a few more takeaways out of that portion. She talked about how she's only doing this part-time. She has another business, which is cool because, hopefully the takeaway from that for you is you don't have to dedicate full-time hours to be successful in this business. And I've experienced that for myself. Many of my other students have experienced that. If you can just start and dedicate a consistent amount of time, you can have success. And really it's a fun business, right? You notice how she said it's amazing, it's fun, and that's true. It is amazing and fun to help people, while also, increase your own circumstances, better your own circumstances through helping people. And that's what I really love about this business. I hope that was, for some of you female entrepreneurs out there, I hope getting kind of she brought up some interesting points that I had never considered, because I'm not a woman, but I thought it was interesting how she's kind of, overcome some of the hurdles of being a woman in business. And so I thought those were some really good insights. She kind of, you notice that she did mention how much her net profit was on this deal. This overage was over 50,000, but she kind of mentioned in there that she was going to get about 25. So not bad at all, especially for somebody's first deal. Crazy return on investment as far as, having that be your first deal it's just amazing. There's no other way to put it. And then we talked a little bit about how to talk with people and how you kind of have to match them in their energy level. And that's very key in this business, is you have to find ways to relate to them and just get on their level, like I mentioned in the video. So that's actually a very key component that you should take into consideration when you're talking to people. So that's it, guys. I'm going to quit. I'm going to stop here. This is going to be the end of part 1, and I will see you in part 2 of the series. We'll see you then.